Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cabral Concept. Can't wait to get into today's Mindset and Motivation Monday. Every single Monday for now 8 years or so, we've been bringing you what I hope to be a motivational and inspirational show, but always one with an action plan attached to it. Because I think inspiration is great. I truly do. I love motivation. I need it daily like most people. But what really matters, what really moves your life forward is just small, consistent action day in and day out. And over time, well, all of those efforts compound. And before you know it, you became the person you hoped you'd be. But what I want to share with you, and today's a really special episode because we're taking a little sidestep to help all of those people that really have tried. They've done so many different things. They've set the vision board. They have the journal. They're writing down what they want. They're trying. They're at it. They want to achieve, but yet they're not able to. What I want to share with you here today is a very specific episode on how neurotransmitters and your gut absolutely does affect mental health. So if you've been dealing with just overwhelm and I would say anxiety about your future and worry, and it's not always, think of it this way. Some people have it because of a very specific event. Like they are worried about something happening in 3 months from now or 6 months from now, and it's really got the brain all hot and bothered, like they're worried, right? And it's just constant all throughout the day. They wake up with it, they go to bed with it, and they just can't get away from it. And I understand that. That's a specific event. But if you're someone who goes from topic to topic and worry from worry, and it just always seems like you're worrying, meaning like, okay, that thing 3 months from now, it came and it passed, and now you've got something else to worry about. You're just always anxious, always worried, always irritable, always overwhelmed. I want to look at more than just you trying to overcome this through mindset alone. This is why at IHP, we are certifying as health coaches so many different psychologists, so many different people as mental health counselors, because you can't just always work on the mindset alone. You also want to be focused on how can you improve the internal mechanisms which allow for a much calmer nervous system and therefore mind. So I'm going to share with you about 5 today. The first one is just the understanding that the gut and the brain are connected. So the gut itself has something called the enteric nervous system. Okay, so think of, you've got your mouth, you've got your esophagus that comes down to your stomach. After your stomach, it goes into your duodenum, or the first part of your small intestine. Your small intestine then moves into your large intestine and then out of the body, obviously through bowel movements. Now, all of that's about 26 feet long, sometimes even longer in adults. So all of that is its own network, and it's meant to be the outside of the body. But oftentimes because of yeast overgrowth, candida overgrowth, parasites, H. pylori, leaky gut, all of those things, what happens is there's inflammation. And that inflammation sends a signal from the enteric nervous system, the gut, up through the vagus nerve to the brain. And now the brain gets a signal that something's wrong. It can't tell you that you have parasites, but it tells you there's something going on that isn't quite right in the body. And what does that cause? Anxiety, overwhelm, right? Irritability, if it goes by enough time, enough weeks. So that's the first, is that do understand those gut feelings that you have. And sometimes the queasiness and irritability do come from gut-based dysfunction. All right. The second one is this, is that your gut health impacts cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which then can elevate inflammation and poor sleep. So why this is so important is that if you are not getting good quality sleep every night, now a lot of people are in bed maybe 7 to 9 hours, which is great, but that doesn't mean they're sleeping 7 to 9 hours, right? If you track your sleep on one of your favorite devices and it shows less than, let's say, an hour, hour and 15 minutes of deep sleep and less than an hour and a half, 2 hours of REM sleep, yeah, you're asleep. That's why all these sleep medications, they put you to sleep, but you are not getting rejuvenating sleep, and your mind and body know it. Deep sleep for the body, REM sleep for the mind. If you're not getting those, you're going to wake up more stressed because you didn't get the recuperation that you needed the night before. That is why, again, gut health can impact overall stress and sleep as well. All right, the fourth one I wanted to show you, or the third one I wanted to share with you, is that what you eat absolutely can affect how you feel. Think of it this way. Now, it's not as much when you're adult. It's a little bit more subtle, but I have children in my practice that when they have artificial flavors, they eat candy at a party and it has colors in it, they turn into a different human. They are throwing a tantrum, they're yelling, they're hitting. It's like they're a different child. I've seen this over and over. They are reacting very negatively to specific toxins put in their body that are creating a higher excitatory neurotransmitter reaction in the body that's causing them to act out. Well, as adults, you're still that same child. It's dampened down a little bit because you have a larger liver, larger kidneys, better detoxification, more body weight. There's a lot that goes into it. However, when you eat fried foods and you eat foods that are incompatible with your body or alcohol, they can act as a depressant. They can really dampen your energy, increase inflammation, dampen your energy. That's one of the best ways to think about it. As inflammation goes up, energy goes down over time, chronically. And if that happens, do you think you're going to have the ambition, the drive, and the vitality to live your best life? Probably not. Because it's going to affect your stomach and your gut and bloating and gas. It's going to affect your sleep. And then it's just literally a snowball rolling downhill of not an ideal life. So we're going to talk about how we turn around in a minute, but I want to just give you a couple more. Because if it's been years of maybe having a little too much alcohol, a little bit too much processed food and fried food, and not the right nutrients for your body, well, your body can sometimes honestly stops producing as much of the inhibitory neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin that you need to feel good, that you need to be more positive in life. And if those are missing, because truthfully, most of that serotonin is produced in the gut, it moves out of the gut, but it's produced there, then you're going to be lacking the balance you need for your nervous system. So we talk about magnesium, we talk about vitamin B6. Those are two nutrients, one's a vitamin and one's a mineral, that help serotonin do its job to make you feel good. It's a happy hormone, but also it helps to produce then melatonin, which helps get you good sleep at night, which then allows you then to wake up more refreshed. The whole body really is connected, but so much of it starts in your gut. And that's why I wanted to really focus on that here today. One more I wanted to give you is that one of the easiest things that we look at is the omega-6 to omega-3 inflammation level. And that is because the foods that you eat, they move into the mouth, or drinks as well, not just food. And as they're being processed in your intestines, already the inflammation starts. So it can activate immune cells that can literally go into that 26 feet or so of digestive tract and start to attack pathogens that shouldn't be there. The omega-6s themselves, those fatty acids, can move into the bloodstream, creating more inflammation, damaging cell membranes, creating potentially more oxidized-based inflammation in the arteries, which can then increase cholesterol levels and not the ideal type of cholesterol. And so what we look at is we say everything starts with basically clean mind and clean body, right? But the clean body, what happens is it becomes tainted when we bring in too many of these improper foods, mainly processed foods from bags and boxes and all of those different things, but especially high in omega-6s. So we, of course, love to look at and test those levels, but increasing omega-3s, this is why it's shown over and over to help with anxiety and depression, because you're balancing the omega-6s. Some people aren't widely deficient in omega-3s. They just have way too many omega-6s. Like, that's the truth. And so by doing these small steps of really balancing the nutrition, again, don't fall for, please, all of the social media diets out there. A really clean, balanced diet, mainly Mediterranean-based style, 7 to 9 servings of bright, colorful fruits and veggies every day. Add in your clean, lean proteins and healthy fats, mainly avocado, olive oil, as add-ons. When you start to follow a diet more like that, now it doesn't happen overnight. You start to then really give your body the nutrients that it needs, but you may need to do a cleaning out. I needed to do it myself when I was 27 years old. And this doesn't necessarily mean a cleanse and all that. What it means is that you need to rebalance the microbiome. It's one of the most important things that I ever did to improve my health, help with my autoimmune issues, help with Addison's, it helped with my insomnia, it helped my allergies, helped my type 2 diabetes, and so much more. Now, again, I can honestly say to you, I'm healthier than I ever have been, and it's been even 20 years since I got well. So, it's pretty amazing. All of these things compound over time, just like I was talking about at the beginning of the show. Your small daily efforts over time, moving towards your goals, are ultimately what compounds and allow you to get to your goals. But if your gut is off, sometimes you're fighting an upstream. You're like a salmon swimming upstream, right? An uphill battle. It's going to be much more challenging for you. So one lab test that you can run it with any integrative health practitioner. You could find a local naturopathic doctor, or of course you can run it with our team at Equilife. Even if you only ran one lab, a simple urine-based lab, a child over 3 years old can run it, and then any patient or wellness client can run it as well. It's called the Candida Metabolic and Vitamins Test. You can find it at stephencabral.com/labs. You can find it over at Equilife. You can run it locally. You don't have to run it with us, but I want you to know that yes, you can run food sensitivity testing. Yes, you can run a bacteria and parasite stool test with the Candida Metabolic Vitamins Test. That's called a Big 3 Gut Bundle. But if you just wanted to start with one, and you just wanted to do a simple urine test that looks at overall yeast overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, it looks at your mitochondria, it looks at your vitamin levels, looks at detoxification, it's a great first lab to get started. You can always run more. You really can, but if people are just looking for a place to get started, that lab, or what's called the starter kit, the vitamin tox test, is another great place to start. Again, you can always find these at stephencabral.com/shop. That just takes you over to Equilife. And if you don't want to run it with the Equilife team, I'm totally fine with that. I just want to make sure you know these things are available, because I did not start to heal mentally or physically until I cleaned up my gut. That's the truth. I had candida overgrowth, I had SIBO, I had H. pylori, and I had wild leaky gut, intestinal permeability. I always say the only thing they didn't find was parasites. That's it. So I guess that's helpful, right? That all those things led to my acid reflux and skin conditions and all sorts of autoimmune issues, but it began to heal once I began to heal, right? And I began to heal mentally and physically once I fixed my gut. So I wanted to bring this show to you. It wasn't my typical Mindset and Motivation Monday, but truthfully, if you've been doing all the things or really putting in a good effort towards your goals and just seem to always be stuck and always anxious and always overwhelmed, there might be more. There might be a deeper picture, and I just wanted to help you get to that deeper underlying root cause. So hopefully this was helpful. I'll link up those labs for you today. I don't usually do that, but why don't I do that? I'll link them up at stephencabral.com/3426. That's stephencabral.com/3426. You'll find all the details there. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing day. And of course, this was helpful. Do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.